Welcome back to another episode of Asset Coach and Tax Strategist. Appreciate you being here. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that bell. Go ahead and subscribe. If you like our content, give us a thumbs up, and please feel free to add any comments down below. We appreciate that. So today's episode, I'm going to kind of go through some more conversation about Robert Kiyosaki. Again, if you follow me or have watched any of my videos or read my books or anything like that, you know that Robert Kiyosaki is one of those that I have followed for years. In fact, you've heard the story in his book, Cash Flow Quadrant. His second book is the reason why I entered the financial services business back in 2001, and really has framed him along with many other professionals through my journey, my 2-decade journey. And one of the things that he's always been very consistent about, and so I wanted to kind of share some of the things because folks like Robert Kiyosaki see things differently than the rest of us. The rest of us will follow social media. We get emotionally involved, and we all of a sudden we choose what side to jump on. And that's the point of social media. That's the point of all this stuff. This is the point of why you have politics, why you have all these different buzzwords and these different things, is to kind of put us all in these little categories to separate us from each other, so we don't work together and be unified. We have these animosities towards each other. It's very divisive. But Robert Kiyosaki is talking about in one of his posts about 5 moves that Trump has made recently. And I know I said the word Trump, already going to get some hate messages and some thumbs downs, but that's okay. And what I really want someone to understand is not necessarily the person, but the actions. The actions. There's so many times people say things or a certain personality. We're like, man, there's something about that person we just dislike. But it doesn't mean what they're saying is wrong. It doesn't mean what they're doing is wrong. It's just we just don't like them for whatever reason, and maybe they're very similar to ourselves, and that's the issue there. But I want to talk about these 5 moves that Trump has made, and pretty much everybody missed them. And because again, people who understand wealth and power and how this is accumulated, both wealth and power, don't recognize what's going on. So what we want to look at is Trump is playing chess. He's not playing checkers. He's playing like 4D chess. Everything with Trump is a negotiation. So when we read something and like, oh man, what an asshole, right? He's like, this guy, I can't believe a president would say this. It's part of it's a move. It's a negotiation tactic. Everything he does is very calculated. It's not, he's just going off a cuff. Now, in public speaking, you can tell when he's going off on script and he goes off script. You can tell that. But most of the time when you see and hear things that are going on right now that you don't see him on live TV, very, very calculated. Okay. So he's not playing checkers. He's applying 4D chess. Now, when he's going through these different moves, most of us are going to say, or the media is going to make this seem very chaotic, like it's very disorganized. And there's a theory called the chaos theory. And the chaos theory is basically a organized, structured decisions and moves that look like chaos, but the reality, it's creating the outcome that is desired. So here's what we're looking at. First thing is one of the first moves Trump has been using in this time in administration is tariffs on countries that are going to start trading with Iran. Okay. Now, this is not foreign policy. That's pressure on energy, it's currency flow, and global leverage. We need to understand that people are moving away from the dollar, as well as the United States. And what's going to back the dollar is no longer the United States because of our debt, right? So what do we need to use? We're not going to use gold because of how gold has been using. So what is our love language? Energy. Energy. This is why the United States is the number one in natural and gas, okay, and in oil. We're the number one exporter now in the world. Why? It's a currency. It's petrodollars, Okay. It's no longer about OPEC. It's about us. Okay. And the moves that he's making is about that energy, minerals. These are all the things that are very important. That's why so many of these other countries are going after gold, because they don't have the infrastructure and the ability to have the energy part of it. Okay. Natural resources, minerals, yes, in some cases. Now, he publicly warns that his own Fed nominee about rates, people laughed and said that it was a joke. It wasn't a joke, right? Trump does not joke. That it's calculated. It was a message that money policy is back on the table. So he makes decisions here to say, okay, we're going to make a decision over here, and both of these are going to bring us to this point here. Okay. Now, then what he's doing is he goes over to the Pentagon and he cuts ties with Harvard. Why? Because of military programs, fellowships, access, gone. Letting this pipeline of brain trust understand, this pipeline of power, understand it's not about you. It's about America. And you, Harvard, are not following in line. So therefore, we're cutting you off. It's no different than if you have a child and your child continues to not listen to you, continues to make decisions that are against everything you said. What do? You start cutting them off in things that you've been providing them. Okay. To try to teach them a lesson and help them understand their ways. Okay. Now, the other thing Trump launched this thing called Trump RX. Now, dozens of drugs, massive price cuts. Why? Big Pharma's pricing model is basically gouging you and I as citizens. So what Trump do? Bam, right in the mouth. He's punched them in the mouth. He's basically said, no, this ain't happening. Okay. And so that helps you and I. Okay. The other thing, last thing, is DHS. Funding hits a hard deadline. So what he does is that he creates this deadline and creates leverage. Leverage forces restructuring. So when you create a deadline, okay, then that means the other party in the negotiation, now the line's been drawn. And now they have to decide on what they're going to do. And that leverage allows for the restructuring. Okay. Now let's connect these dots. This isn't about the left side or the right side of politics or the train of us liking or not liking Trump or anything like that. This is about a system change. We're going away from the previous decades of policy, and it didn't work. It worked for a time being, but it started causing the cards to start to crumble. And so what we want to do is we want to understand that as we go through these rules, we want to understand stress the system until the truth comes out. That's what he's doing. He's trying to stress the system until things come out and the truth comes out, meaning it allows us to fix things that are broken. Okay. No, what do they always say in sports? A winning locker room solves all issues. So all of a sudden you start seeing issues coming out of a particular team. Why? Because they're losing. And this is what's happening. So there's trade pressure. It hits currencies. Rate pressure hits debt. Institutional pressure hits influence. Price pressure hits monopolies, big pharma, and then deadlines force decisions. This is a demolition before we start reconstruction. We got to break this stuff down, clean it up, and then rebuild what's going on. So most people are watching this and they're looking at the personalities. They're not understanding the power shift that's happening and that's going on. The moment Trump got sworn in, he went to work. And he has not stopped because he knows that he has 3 years left. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And so he's pushing. That's what's going to happen in 4 years to be able to tear down and build up what's occurred here in the United States in some of our monetary and fiscal and political policies. Okay. So anyways, very, very interesting when we start looking at this and shaking that tree, breaking down that old system to build out the new system. What's this new system about? You and I. This new system's about you and I. And we finally have somebody who understands that. Now, you can say, well, he's doing this for his own wealth or whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Is it self-serving? Maybe so, but wouldn't it be self-serving for us to allow America still be great, to allow America still be the world power? Or would you like to start learning Mandarin? Would you like to start learning Russian? Would you like to start learning another language because all of a sudden we decided that we're going to get lazy and the system breaks down? That's that This is what's going on, folks. Wake up. This is not about Trump. This is about you and I. About you and I. Somebody's finally stepping up, being a leader, and making decisions for us. Okay. Whatever his personality is, whatever, does not matter. But he has proven over and over and over again that his negotiation tactics work. These other countries are coming to the table. These other areas are coming to the table. That's the whole point. If we're not talking, then nothing can get done. He's wanting to bring everybody to the table, and you do that with leverage. And he's using the different tools to create that leverage to bring people to the table to talk. And with talking and negotiation creates resolution and the restructuring of what's happening. So thanks so much for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, again, go ahead and hit subscribe. Give us a thumbs up to this content. And again, if you have any comments, please feel free to put those down there. Appreciate you spending your time with us. Go make it a great day.